If you want to follow along, all the full episodes on any of the builds or crazy adventures we're going on are going to be on the Haggerty YouTube channel. You can find them super easily. Just search Haggerty. There's a stay tuned playlist or click the link in our description. We will see you over there. And just to give you an update, we've been thrashing here at the shop, working on my Street Freak Firebird. We're trying to get this thing ready for Sick Week, which is like a drag and drive event. And the idea is go to a drag race, you know, put down a time, get a time slip. You can then get a map. You drive to the next spot, put down a time slip. Now it could be 300 miles, it could be 150 miles between spots. You're driving the race car with no support vehicles on the road. They are the funnest events because, you know, Drag Week is the one I've done a bunch with Finn, but this is Sick Week, different Tom Bailey's event. Super excited to do it. And this is the first time I'll be driving, and I get to finally install what I think is the single best modification you can do to any manual race car. It's the best right here. Boom, a proper, what we call them dog boxes, but a proper dog ring, full-on racing transmission. This is what the NASCAR guys run. A lot of roundy round racers run this stuff. Anybody that needs to shift whenever they want, you run these things. They transmit power super efficiently. They hold a bunch of power and they stay together. And it's just the sound and the punch and the fury. They ring in every gear super hard. All right. You can put this thing in first gear going 90, it'll do it, it'll take it. It's the single funnest thing. And you want to talk about, like, okay, my car's getting there, we've done some stuff to it, some suspension, add some power, this and that. You want it to feel like a race car? Put one of these bad boys in there. That's when things get very serious because, again, they whine in every gear. You gotta slam them through to engage those dogs fully. It's the coolest. And it's just such, you know, basically we work all the time inside of like, oh, we're taking a stock part and we're modifying it, right? Like that's how parts get made in performance parts. We take a stock engine block, we put some hot pistons in it, we do this, we do that. This is something that was designed from the ground up to go racing, and that makes all the difference in the world. Every piece is beefier than like a regular off-the-shelf transmission. The shifter, straight rods, tons and tons of metal, just gonna handle anything you can throw at it. So that's my favorite single modification. We've been on this car a while. We finally got the blower in on this thing, 671 from Speedmaster, spinning on top of our 462 Butler Stroker engine, making about 700 horsepower at the motor. So that's really too much for any stock transmission to deal with reliably anyway. Plus, I'm gonna be the one driving it. I'm gonna drive it like a total idiot. It's gonna be the funnest, and I wanna make sure that we have a decent chance of getting all the way back to where we started in Florida, and that's why I went out, I grabbed, this is an old school one. This is a Tex T101. So it's like what a NASCAR car would have probably had 15, maybe even 20 years ago, but still miles better than any old school 4-speed you're gonna run. Now there's a lot of new developments in what you can run in a stick shift car. People are taking the Tremec T56, guys like Tick and G-Force, they are face plating the first 4 gears and then giving you the 2 overdrives still with synchros because you're not gonna see that on the drag strip. Super interesting. I'm really excited about it. We will probably put that in a car at some point, but it just doesn't fit like the crazy 70s vibe that we've got going on with this Street Freak. And I also don't want to totally have to hack the floor out because that thing is a big beefy box. So this is a way we can put in a ton of proper performance, handle a lot of power, hopefully, you know, be running 10-second wheels up runs and still keep it together. And again, the whole time it's just gonna be whining and screaming and crashing into gear, and it's the greatest. So that's why it's my single favorite modification to do to any car, assuming it's a manual. And if it's not, put one in anyway, make it a manual. These are the coolest. I've run the GSR box, which is essentially a more modern style from G-Force. That's a top shifter. That's what we ran in Formula Drift. A lot of guys are still running them in Formula Drift up to 12, 1,300 horsepower, and they handle it, which is crazy. And those cars have a lot more grip than you think, and these transmissions deal with that abuse. There isn't a stock transmission on the world that's really gonna put up with that. So this is my single favorite modification you can do to take your car from a street car into a race car.